Good morning, students. I am Dr. P.S. Kaushik, Principal at Sri Digambar Institute of Technology, Dausa, Rajasthan. I am taking this subject, Engineering Mechanics, and this subject belongs to Civil and Mechanical Engineering in the third semester. This is my 13th lecture on this subject. Let us know what we learned in the last lecture. In the last lecture, we learnt about the mechanism of friction, that is how the friction is generated. Then we analyzed the laws of friction, both static and dynamic, and a problem was solved for an inclined force at 25 degree with the horizontal on a block kept on a horizontal surface. Now, in the mechanism, what we learnt that the surface can be visualized of having a waviness and the roughness. The roughness, when seen in a microscope, will constitute some hills and valleys of micronic nature. When two surfaces are kept one over the another, that is, when one block is kept on a surface on another block, then there will be interlocking between those hills and valleys. You can say that this is one surface. When we keep another surface on this is another block weighing W kg or W Newton, you can say. Then there is a interlocking here. This is here, there is interlocking. Then this force of friction, when we apply a force, say like this P, will be generated, which will be a passive nature and acting opposite to the motion of the body. This is the friction. Will be acting here. The normal reaction will be like this. This is normal reaction. Then this friction will be equal to mu r. This is the friction mu r. This mu r is the normal reaction. Normal means it is acting perpendicular to the surface. That's why we call it normal. Normal, the meaning is perpendicular. Yeah. Now, this mu was defined as F upon R, where F is the limiting friction and R is the normal reaction. Sometimes we denote it by Rn. This limiting friction means, you can understand it like this, that if we draw a graph between applied force P and frictional force F, then there will be a straight line that is proportionately the frictional force will increase as the force applied is increased, and a straight line will be generated, making an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal, that is x-axis. Then a condition will reach when this interlocking will break between the hills and valleys or roughness of the two surfaces, and the body will just give a minor jerk like this, and then it will go a straight line a bit downward like this. This is the corresponding to this is 0, and this we say 1, and this is 2, and say this is 3. This is the frictional force corresponding to point 1 is called F limiting, F maximum or F limiting. F maximum, beyond which the body will give minor vibrations and start moving. The, the range between 1 and 2 is transition range. Transition range. Here the friction is changing from static to dynamic. Again, this mechanism of friction, that there is a micronic irregularities of minor amplitude called roughness on all the surfaces. When one block is kept over the other, that the roughnesses, which I term them hills and valleys, the protruded portion is hill and the downward portion is a valley. When they get interlocked, there is a resistance to overcome this interlocking. We require certain force. That the interlocking is a main cause for the generation of frictional force, which is passive in nature. Passive means it when there is no external force applied on the body to move it relative to the surface, then this frictional force is zero, and it will goes on increasing with the increase in the applied force in the direction of motion. Here the point is in the direction of motion. For example, if this is the surface and the body is kept on this like this, if when force is applied like this, that is W, and this is the reaction, then frictional force will be mu r, where mu is the coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction. Okay. Now, the direction of motion is this, motion, that is direction. This is the direction of motion. The direction of frictional force is this, F. Say if this force is acting at this angle, say theta, then this will be P cos theta, and this will be the P sin theta. Then the direction, the component of the force which is in the direction of motion is P cos theta. Okay. So, I said you earlier that this F is equal to mu r. A simple problem was solved, then the laws of friction, both static and dynamic, were explained. Now, some more definitions, that is limiting friction. As discussed earlier, the frictional force corresponding to point A is friction, limiting friction here. Okay. And this is the transition zone, this much. The transition zone, and this is the dynamic zone, this is the static zone. Corresponding to this zone, friction is called static friction, and the maximum friction that is corresponding to point A is called limiting friction. As we discussed earlier, that the friction is passive in nature, means it gets active only when an external force is applied to move the block over the surface. It will get adjusted with the change in magnitude of the external force. Refer to figure 1. This is figure 1. As the external force increases gradually, it also gets increased, balancing the external force until the condition is reached at which the body is just to move, that is at point A. This is the maximum static friction and is called the limiting friction. Beyond this, the body starts moving and the friction is still remaining is called dynamic friction. It may be noted that when the applied force is less than the limiting friction, the body remains at rest and the friction is called static friction, which may have any value between the 0 to, this is 0, this is F max. Then next is the normal reaction. Normal means perpendicular. Here, this is the normal reaction which is perpendicular to the surface. This is the surface, perpendicular to this is normal reaction. Okay. It has been experienced that whenever a body lying on a horizontal and an inclined surface is in equilibrium, its weight acts vertically downward, that is weight is acting always towards the center of the earth. Through its center of gravity, the surface in turn exerts an upward reaction on the body. This reaction, which is always perpendicular to the plane, is called the normal reaction and is generally denoted by R. It is denoted by R. It is to be noted that the term normal reaction is very important in the field of friction, as the force of friction is directly proportional to it. And this frictional force, here we have shown that as the angle increasing, this angle is increasing, a condition will reach when this body tends to move downward due to gravity, and the directional frictional force, this F, will be upward like this, according to this figure we are talking. Okay. Now, angle of friction. This is a horizontal surface on which a block is kept weighing W Newton, and a normal reaction on this is acting upward here. Now, the frictional force is mu r acting towards left, and their resultant will pass through like this, which is we call it S, which is equal to, if this angle is phi, then it is equal to S equal to under root of F square plus R square. Then this tan phi equal to phi is the angle of friction. This is the angle of friction. Phi is the angle of friction. The total reaction of the resultant reaction is given by this, as I explained earlier. Also, the coefficient of friction is given F is equal to mu is equal to F upon R. So mu is equal to tan phi. The significance of the angle of friction lies in the fact that it is a measure of limiting position of total reaction between the two contacting surfaces. Now, angle of repose. Sorry. Consider this figure 4. Here, this is the angle alpha. This when this body is kept on the plane, when the plane is inclination angle is increased gradually, a condition will reach when this block will tend to slide down due to the weight component of the along the so this weight can be along broken into two components, that is normal to the surface and horizontal to the surface. This angle is alpha, then this will be W cos alpha, and this will be W sin alpha. This one. Then the force of friction will be equal to this W sin alpha, and this frictional force will act upward like this. And the angle corresponding to the condition when the body just starts sliding down is called angle of repose. Alpha is the angle of repose to the condition that the body just starts sliding downward. It is going to slide, not exactly sliding, it is just this is the limiting condition at which this body tends to just in a balanced condition, it is just trying to move, slide downward. In that condition, the four forces, that is weight, reaction, frictional force, and the force component, horizontal force component of vertical will be balanced with each other, because there are only three forces here: frictional force, weight, and the normal reaction. But this weight is broken into two components, that is horizontal and vertical. This is called resolution of forces. You understand, resolving a force into its two components, then these components can further be broken down or resolved into another forces. That in this way, in this fashion, we will be able to make more than two components of a force, and then we will say that we have resolved the single force into many components of it. So, let us just say what is written here. Consider a body of weight W resting on a inclined plane as shown in figure. At a impending motion, the body is in equilibrium under the action of following force: weight W of the body acting vertical downward, frictional force F acting upward along the plane, and normal reaction R acting at right angle to the plane. Let the angle of inclination alpha is gradually increased. This is gradually increasing like this till the body starts sliding down the plane. This angle of inclined plane at which the body just begins to slide down of the plane is called angle of repose. It is to be noted that it is also equal to the angle which the normal reaction makes to the vertical. Now, cone of friction, a very important definition or concept which we should understand. I will give you sufficient time on this. Okay, when we apply a force P on the block kept on a horizontal surface, a force of friction is acting to the left, when we apply a force to the right. Normal reaction is upward and W is acting downward. the total reaction is this. Okay, which is under square root of f square plus r square, and tan phi is the friction angle. In the limiting condition, phi is maximum, that is limiting angle of friction. Now, if we just rotate this force of friction and give a 360 turn gradually increasing one by one, then you will find that this a surface is generated, and this surface is so generated that it takes the shape of a cone, and the frictional force is called cone of friction. Again, understand this. We have applied this force F towards the left. Then make an angle 10 and make it like this and like this and like this and like this. This way and the frictional force will be just opposite of it. The frictional force, when it is angry, frictional force will be like this. When this is like this, the frictional force will be in this way. इसके यहाँ पर आएगा, इसका यहाँ पर आएगा, इस तरह से this frictional force will, and you will find a surface of cone is generated with the apex at the center of gravity of the body block, and this is the upper surface, cone surface. Its radius is equal to the force of friction. This is equal to F, and this apex angle is 2 into phi, where phi is the angle of friction. Now, again let us read what is written here. We defined in the earlier slide that S is equal to under root of f square plus r square. If this we rotate the force P by 360 degree, a cone surface will be generated by the line of total reaction as depicted in second figure. The apex of the cone will lie on the CG of the block, and its radius will be equal to the frictional force, and the apex angle will be double of the friction angle. This I already explained. It is worth to be noted that in case of impending condition, the frictional force is maximum and the total reaction will lie on the surface of the cone. This is the important. I will try to explain you further until you get clarified with this concept. But the frictional force, the limiting friction, then the total reaction will lie within the cone, and in that case the force are not sufficient to cause a motion. Take the condition of a screw jack and you are lifting a car. This is your car, you are changing your wheel, you have applied a jack here and you are rotating it to lift the jack up, and you get tired. What will happen? You just stop for time being to take rest, and the car remains in the hanging position. But why? Because the efficiency of screw jack is less than 50% corresponding to the weight of the car. If we increase the weight of the car, then it will get sliding downward. This normal reaction will increase. So, if we make a jack such that we design a jack such that the weight of the car and the coefficient of friction between the threads will ensure that the total reaction will remain within the cone. Yeah, it will not go beyond this. Then the screw jack will be of self-locking nature, and you will be you will be able to leave the jack unattended when you are getting tired. Otherwise, you have to hold it in position, because as and when you leave this handle, the car will get down and you may get injury, or somebody will get injured, or your car will get on the ground, wheel is removed. So, to overcome this difficulty, what we do? We design a jack whose mechanical efficiency, that is less than 50%. It is more than 50%, that is, it is not self locking, and that self locking will depend upon the coefficient of friction between the surfaces of the screw threads and the weight it is going to lift. You can consider it here that if weight is more, say it is say 1000 Newton, that is 100 kg, the normal reaction is this, is the force of friction say 0.3, then this mu r will be 33. Newton, and the total reaction will be this. But if say it was designed for 100 kg or 1000 Newton, but if weight is increased to say 500 Newton or 150 kg, and normal the frictional force is reduced further say 0.2, then what will happen? It will go this way. In that condition, the normal reaction will be beyond the cone of friction. Total reaction will be beyond the cone of friction, and this way your screw jack will come down. This aspect forms the working principle of self-locking mechanism, that is screw jacks and biases, etc. Now, let us take one problem, simple problem, that a body resting on a rough horizontal plane requires a pull of 180 newtons inclined at 30 degree to the plane just to move it. That is, for impending condition, it requires 180 newton of force to move it in the direction of right, this way. Okay. It was found that a push of 220 Newton inclined at an angle of 30 degree to the plane just move the body, determine the weight of the body and the coefficient of friction. देखिए, here they ask for two unknowns. Note it, that is weight of the body and coefficient of friction. Here the smart thinking is that there will be only two equations formed, that is summation f x is equal to 0 and summation f y equal to 0. Hence, these are equation 1, this is equation 2, and maximum how many unknown you can solve by with this, that is maximum 2. So, they are asked only for 2 unknown to solve. Here in first case, resolve this 180 Newton into vertical and horizontal. Then this will be normal reaction will be R will be W minus 180 sin 30 degree, and this will be 180 cos 30 degree. Resolve the forces and make two equations, that is along the plane and vertical to the plane. Here resolving forces horizontally F1 equal to 180 cos 30, that is 180 into 0.866, that is 150 Newton. Now resolving forces vertically, that is R1 is W minus 180 sin 30, I told you earlier, W minus 180 0.5 W minus 90 Newton. We know that the force of friction F1 155.9 is equal to mu R1 equal to mu W minus 90. This is the equation 1. Next, now consider the push. Here, resolve the forces. This is a frictional force. This is 220 sin 30. And this will be like this, 220 cos 30. The direction of frictional force will be this way. Yes. W downward, then R2 will be W plus 220 sin 30. R2 will be 220 sin 30 plus W. This is written here. Now, resolving the forces horizontally, F2 equal to 220 cos 30. This is reaction. This is the force component horizontally along. So, this is 220 cos 30. So, F2 comes out to 190.5. Now resolving the forces horizontally, R2 becomes this much. And now on solving the equation first and second, you can go through this way, you can solve. This way and this way, or this will be W will come 991.2 newtons answer. And now substituting value of W in equation first, here you will get the coefficient of friction 0.173. These are very simple calculations you can make. Thanks for watching this video. If you find it good or if you find something to be addressed, then give me a mail on Dr. P.S. Kaushik @gmail.com. Thanks for watching this video.